Don't let the media gaslight you. Don't let the media gaslight you.
Let's talk more about Luigi Mangione. He is the alleged CEO shooter. Is he a modern day Robin Hood? That's what a lot of folks are debating, especially on social media, in real life, but especially there. There are people who genuinely believe that this alleged assassin is a working class hero, a champion for the downtrodden common man. They believe that he is the 21st century version of Che Guevara. Not only are they not sympathetic to United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson and his family, some people are celebrating his death. Why is that happening? Are you okay with that? Are we okay with that? Why is that happening?
He discovered America is what he did. He was a brave Italian explorer, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
They found the guy that killed the United Healthcare CEO. His name is Luigi Mangione. Straight out of Sopranos. Yo, go do a deep dive on this guy right now. He's got a Goodreads account. He's got a Letterboxd account. He's got a Twitter. And honestly, seems like someone I would probably be friends with. That's not me. Hold on, wait. Could you imagine being so hot that when you assassinate someone, the only photos that they use of you is your killer smile in a professional headshot and you being ripped in like the jungle? That's goated. He's goated. No, I don't think you should be killing anyone. And I'm not gonna have a butt sentence there. I will say, as far as like person of interests go, coolest one we've had in a while. Coolest guy we've had in a while.
The person that turned in Luigi Mangione is getting the wildest karma right now. So at this point, you all probably know that Luigi Mangione was turned in by a McDonald's employee. You also all probably know that there was a pretty substantial reward for turning Luigi in. And this employee was going after that reward, but their claim has been denied. This is due to the fact that if you wanted to qualify for the reward, you had to call into the tip line, but the employee ended up calling 911 and not the tip line, which means they get nothing. But the karma does not stop there, because the employee turning Luigi in has caused the reviews of the McDonald's this happened at to absolutely tank. It is currently a 1-star reviewed restaurant now, and people have also found out the employee that gave the tip's name and started sharing it online, which means that on top of everything else that's happened, the employee will also probably be losing their job because of this, due to the fact that people are very, very upset with them, and that McDonald's is now no longer a safe place for them to work. Personally, I don't blame the employee. They probably just saw the cash reward and thought, oh, I can really use the money, and didn't think of anything else. But it's just wild to me that absolutely nothing in this situation ended up working out for them.
Hey, yeah, congratulations on what you did. You are a hero. I just want to make sure that you had your shift covered while you were away on break talking to the police. You were gone for 4 hours. We checked the cameras, and you didn't clock out. I just want to make sure you understand why that's a problem, right? Okay. Does she have any PTO left to make sure to cover those hours and make sure there's no discrepancies? Because if you give her free hours, we have to give everyone free hours, you know? She doesn't have PTO left? Okay, can you write her up and make sure that you write in there using company pay and company phone, making personal phone calls? Yeah. You want to use your sick day? Well, we always award every employee of ours 1 sick day for every 365 days they work. Are you sure you want to use it? Congratulations. She wants to use her sick day. Okay, well, you got it covered. There's a line outside. Oh my God, I need you to go get that done.
Not the edits. Not the edits. Y'all remember how an employee at McDonald's was the one that snitched? McDonald's flooded with 1-star reviews. No, because the edits. I never thought he would be everybody's person of interest. Like, his grandparents founded the Lorient Health System, so I want to know the motive. All I gotta say is that this year's award to most entertaining country goes to Merck.
My dad's dad twice in the back of the head in what the police called a robbery gone wrong, and they never even really searched for the guy who did it. And they told my entire family that there wasn't anything more they could have done. I guess the part they decided to leave out was unless he's a CEO. Because remember, this man committed what police described as the perfect crime. This man had a 3D printed pistol with subsonic bullets. This man was supremely prepared. He only got caught 2 full states away because of the nationwide manhunt that had been going on over the last week. So do not let publicly funded resources like the NYPD or like the Atlanta Police Department that got pulled into this investigation tell you that you don't have access to your rights, tell you that you don't have access to a full investigation, because they just showed the entire nation that they have the resources and they just often choose not to deploy them. And through exposing policing, healthcare, and media in one fell swoop, Luigi has become a national icon and I hope a revolutionary.
Men who were in jail until I saw Luigi. Somebody give me that cell number. Where is he at? He in Pennsylvania. I'ma come get him. I'ma stick beside him. I'ma stick beside him. Damn. He needs a Princess Peach. Why don't the man in the Bang Bang Shoot 'em Up movies look like him? Put him in that movie. Dang, we can get married right after. I just don't understand. Smart. He reads books. Can hold that blicky. When he gets sticky, I like him. He's just my type. How tall is he? Do we know his specs? What's the height? Because that's gonna tell me everything I need to know. Because if he's a short king, he might try to assassinate me. Might have that short man complex, so can't do that.
So, I was trying to avoid talking about this topic, but I've been so flustered lately with how the mainstream media has been dealing with the topic, and I've been flustered specifically with Piers Morgan. I've been flustered. We're about to get into this Luigi Mangione debacle, and it's about to be real. Okay, but first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Karina Ludmental Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. So, unless you've been living under a rock, I mean, we have people in Haiti, overseas, everywhere, that knows about Luigi, okay, Mangione. And I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. But we've all heard about it. For whatever reason, even our Christians are feeling like, it's not like we're happy that the CEO died the way that he died. Nobody's happy about that, you know? But it's a feeling of, if I say what I say, I hope it comes out right. It's more like we can understand why someone would feel like they've gotten to the point where they have to take a vigilante approach. We are in a day in society where we're having the elites and the rich telling us, y'all shouldn't think like this. How dare you guys? But they'd be the first to promote war. They'd be the first to take your sons and daughters to go die for the wars of rich men, rich governments. They don't care to drop on children. They don't care. They don't have outrage for that. You won't see them speaking in the same tone. But this one man dies because they see themselves in this man. All of a sudden, they want to be the moral police, right? They see themselves in him. In particular, let's talk about the state of America first. I want to talk about the state of America. Why? Before we get into Piers Morgan, because he's really the reason why I'm doing this video. But in particular, all through TikTok, Twitter, read the room. The mainstream media needs to read the room. The elites, the rich need to read the room. They need to read the room. They need to read the room. Because they're making it a left and right issue in America. People are not buying it. I have seen the left and the right come together over this issue when it comes to healthcare. Okay? Me personally, this actually makes me emotional. I'm not even going to get emotional. I went through a period of health issues myself where I could not get coverage. I've had to pay so many things out of pocket. Doctor's visit. And it's really expensive to go to the doctor. Thankfully, I've never been in an ambulance. But I've paid other debts for others that had to go through an ambulance. It's absurd. It's absurd. Healthcare in America is absurd. I was in the hospital probably not even 2 hours. And then you get a $2,000 bill just for laying on the bed. Your insurance copay, what they take like $200 out of that, and you're paying the rest. And you're paying hundreds of dollars a month. You don't get no special cuts or whatever, right? What's worse is I've had family die because of lack of coverage. To be able to afford insulin. Insulin is so expensive. So many of these medications, life-saving medications, are expensive to begin with, and insurance won't fully cover. If you have pre-existing conditions, insurance won't even cover you. It's so difficult to switch insurance coverage. You guys know already. I don't have to give you guys a lecture on insurance, how it works. My older sister had a stroke after giving birth to her daughter because she had a blood clot that traveled to her brain. Her husband and I, and my family, when we were looking for aftercare because she was in a coma for 6 months, She had a trig. She had an allergic reaction to medication and had her tongue out her mouth swollen. It was just very bad. And she was so young. It's her first child. And though now, praise God, she's walking, she's talking, she's doing a lot better. Doctors told her she had a 1% chance of living. I've told this testimony on here before. What resonates with me is the aftercare part. I went through a state of depression where I developed anxiety. I was having panic attacks, gut issues, IBS, from the intense stress of what was going on with my sister. Looking for aftercare for her, facilities, medication, because insurance just does not cover it. Her insurance would not cover it. They would not cover it. So a lot of care, out of pocket. Facilities, out of pocket. Even a home health aid, I got a home health aid for her, out of pocket. Thousands of dollars a month, out of pocket. And care that she took after mentally to get back into her right mind, etc. $3,000 a month out of pocket. Devastating to our family because insurance won't cover those expenses. What's the point of paying? What's the point of paying? And I found myself sick from all the stress of it. And when someone has a medical issue to this degree, they can't work, they can't do anything, you got to think of care for their child care also. Because husband got to go to work, I got to work, everybody else got to work. This child needs care, which would have been the mother. But she's not in a condition to care for that child 2 to 3 years after her stroke still. Care has to be provided for. There's just so much more expenses that come from it's more than just paying your medical bills. When you're medically sick, there's a loss of income. You have to provide for that too. Children, etc. It's devastating. My grandparents, insurance did nothing for them. Died so early. I believe my grandpa died at 56 years old. He wasn't even 60 yet. Same with my grandma. She died, I believe, at 51. 51. My mom died at 44. Yeah, there's a lot of health measures I take for myself, but insurance means nothing. This is the state of America then, and it's gotten worse now. This is why people don't feel sympathy. This is why people are not, oh my goodness, doing vigils for this CEO. He had AI, and I told you guys, I'm about to do that AI video. I keep hyping y'all up for it. It's going to come in January, I promise. Definitely January, mid-January, late January, because it's intense. But he was using AI to deny claims. They don't even have the connection, the soul of a human reading through these claims, which is mass murder. But people like Piers Morgan want us to feel bad. I gotta see what's going on. So let's talk about the elite. From CNN, Chris Cuomo, deplorable. And other newscasters, I was watching ABC, NBC. I watch a lot of political commentary, news channels, global news, everywhere. I love to watch what's happening in Africa, what's happening in India, what's happening here. So whether it's the left or right, I will watch you debate, whether I agree or not. I like to know what's going on in the world around me. Piers Morgan is supposed to be uncensored and for the people, right? But for some reason, he tried to shame this woman and tried to make everyone believe that everyone else was shaming this woman with him. No, we weren't. Where she said, America feels joy. Let me try to show y'all a clip. Hopefully it doesn't get censored.
We have to talk more about Luigi Mangione. Not only are they not sympathetic to United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson and his family, some people are celebrating his death. Are we okay with that? Are we okay with that? Why is that happening? I want you to listen. This is journalist Taylor Lorenz talking about the joy that she experienced when hearing about Brian Thompson's murder.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Seriously?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're
this is a
watching
man
the footage.
responsible for
How can this make you joyful? This guy's a
So,
husband,
Piers,
he's a
like
father,
millions,
and he's being
and
gunned
so
down
are
in the middle of Manhattan.
so
Why does that make you
thousands
joyful?
of Americans that he murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No.
We don't know really enough about this guy yet. It looks to me like he's a bit of a narcissist.
What do you mean?
I think he was a narcissist. I think that he was clearly unhinged. I'm not sure that he's the great Robin Hood. Hang on.
Which guy? I'm sorry.
Hang on.
You're talking about
Luigi, the shooter,
or,
right?
Brian Thompson.
The one who shot Brian Thompson, Luigi, right? I'm just not sure that he's this great, heroic guy standing up against the healthcare system. I suspect
I'm not talking about that. This isn't about Luigi, who may or may not, he's been arrested, he's been charged. We may or may not know that he's the actual shooter. I'm talking about the public reaction to Brian Thompson's death.
No, I understand that.
We do know about Brian Thompson.
I understand that.
We know about United Healthcare, and that's the root of the discontent. That's the root of the public outcry. Luigi is just a vessel through which people are expressing their deep frustrations with the American healthcare system. So the question is, if you don't want murders like this to be happening, assassinations to be happening like this in the street, I'm someone who does not believe in the death penalty and don't condone these kinds of vigilante instances of violence in either case. But if you want to get to the root of why people are so deeply unhappy, you have to, or it resonates so deeply with people that this has happened, you have to get to the root of why there is this deep well of tragedy, despair, and outrage in the United States of America. And that has to do with what Brian Thompson has chosen to do with his life, and what companies like United Healthcare have chosen to do to the American people.
But just to be clear, before I go to Natalie to respond to that, do you feel any empathy for Brian Thompson and his family?
I have infinite empathy for any individual as a person in their personal capacity. As his role as the CEO of United Healthcare, I'm afraid I'm with the overwhelming majority, bipartisan majority of the American people who say, I'm saving my empathy for people who are much more vulnerable, and have caused a lot.
Right.
Less
So to be
harm
clear, you don't have any empathy for him after he was executed.
I personally don't.
Right. Okay. Well, at least you're honest.
So the alleged of the United Healthcare CEO has now been captured. It turns out that he's a 26-year-old former University of Pennsylvania student. His Twitter account is rather heterodox. It contains some sort of centrist to even right-wing leaning content. But the reality is that almost certainly this person decided to be the United Healthcare CEO for a couple of reasons. One was because he had anti-capitalist leanings. He was very praiseworthy for the manifesto about using violence to take down systems, and apparently his little 2-page manifesto talked about the evils of capitalist profit. And also, this person had a significant back surgery, was pretty clearly using psychedelic, which is a note to people. Don't be casual about your use of psychedelic. There are a lot of online folks who will tell you that magic mushrooms are the cure for your problems. It turns out they are the cause of many other problems. So the alleged of the United Healthcare CEO has now been captured. It turns out that he's a 26-year-old former University of Pennsylvania student. His Twitter account is rather heterodox. It contains some sort of centrist to even right-wing leaning content. But
nothing is funnier than seeing Ben Shapiro call Bill Burr a wealthy elite when he literally has a net worth that's like 5 times Bill Burr. Like, buddy, you're the CEO of Daily Wire. No matter how stupid you think your audience is, none of them think that you are a hard-working American that got his money on his own with his, bare hands. I don't think you've had dirt under your nails in a video in, 10 years. His fans are turning on him, too. They're over here like, bro, I'm literally a 3-time Trump voter, but insurance companies, you're so wrong on this. And my mother died because our insurance company wouldn't provide her care. What the are you talking about leftists for? I really just gotta wonder how scared, the right-wing higher-ups are right now, because they have primed their entire base for violence over the past decade. And they just expected, it's all gonna be directed at the left, and at gay people, and at black people, and Mexicans, and stuff like that. I think they're realizing it's not a good combination when you have this group that's primed for violence gaining class consciousness. I'm sorry, no matter how much propaganda you shove down Jim Bob's throat to hate trans people, he's still more affected by our actual healthcare system than he will ever be by any minority group. Like, what happens now that the guy you primed to walk into a kindergarten with an AR-15 because he's mad about Mexicans or something like that, now is watching the news and understanding, oh wait, my life sucks because of these billionaire CEOs. All I'm saying is a lot of Republicans who are big gun-toting Second Amendment activists, stand your ground people, I will shoot you if you step onto my property, have serious medical conditions like back problems, knee issues, and heart conditions. And you know what's not getting covered by their insurance companies? If you're wondering why it seems right-wing media is scrambling to convince all of its viewers that actually vigilante justice is not right, even though we've been hyping up Kyle Rittenhouse for the past 5 years, you shouldn't be able to just shoot people dead in the street. That's actually very wrong. Like, can y'all not see through it?
This is for Ben Shapiro and all the people out there saying that violence never solves anything when it comes to this whole Luigi United Healthcare thing. Do you guys say the same thing about Israel? What about Russia, Ukraine? How about police brutality? Weird.
So one of the things that is giving me hope about whatever up crazy timeline that we're on is seeing men like Ben Shapiro get absolutely hooked. He said something recently about, we all know what he said about the left being the ones that are like applauding the murder of the CEO of United Healthcare. And his own viewers and fans just like absolutely cooked him in the comments and were like, this is not a left or right issue. You are talking that you don't know what you're talking about. But one of the other things that he said recently is that the retirement age should be raised past 65. And that quite frankly, he thinks retirement altogether is stupid. Seeing the utter disrespect that he has for the actual workers of America that are the backbone, right? Like we could survive without men like Ben Shapiro. We can't survive without plumbers, construction workers, electricians, linemen, sanitation workers, farmers, servers, retail workers, all of these jobs that can potentially destroy your body, right? And not to mention firefighters, police officers, right? All of these jobs that can absolutely destroy your body. And he doesn't think that they have earned the right to retire at 65. And if he's being honest, they should never retire, right? I mean, he can do it. Why can't they? And to see that there is a line, that people are not brainwashed, that they would just follow him into that dark tunnel, does give me hope. It gives me hope because people are left and right are unanimously standing up and saying absolutely that, right? You, like Ben Shapiro, you think that those linemen should be up there past age 65? Okay, babe. Tell me again how hard your job is and how grueling it is. People are starting to understand that men like Ben Shapiro don't get everyday people like us that aren't rich, right? That aren't personalities, right? Nor do they even have empathy for us, right? I would love to see Ben Shapiro get up on one of those lines and risk his life.
Dude, I'm seeing so many people criticize the reactions of excitement about the United Healthcare CEO getting shot. They're like, this is not okay. This is an innocent man who was, you cannot celebrate an innocent man. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. This is a dude whose job it is to commit murder behind a corporate veil. They are wolves who want to for money. These are people whose job it is to take money from you and then make you think that you're going to be covered when an emergency happens. And then when your 4-year-old daughter has leukemia, they go oh, dude, stall. She'll die. Just wait it out. She'll die. And if she doesn't die, buy us time to find out why we can, deny this claim. It doesn't matter. And I'm seeing so many people say vigilante justice is never okay. It's never okay to do that. It ain't okay for the first option, but nothing else is happening. You'd like to think that there's laws in place that prevent people from committing the corporate murder. Everyone's oh, it should go to the courts then. If it's a crime, it should go to the courts. You'd love to see that, but it ain't happening. It doesn't happen. These people get away with it and they get paid millions for it because the people who are in charge of that you'd hope would create laws that would protect you, they're getting checks under the table. They don't give a They're like, the people who could stop this are like, yeah, you know, we looked at the laws, and actually the fine print actually kind of says that this is, we actually haven't found any crimes here, so we're going to let this continue on without punishment. I did surprisingly get my third yacht overnight, so I will be taking that to the south of France if you need to reach me. When you have money, you manipulate the game. And when you don't have money, you get manipulated. And you don't get to be upset when you push people to the point of having nothing, and then they act as if they have nothing. I seen one lady on here that was like, dude, she was like a rich middle-aged white woman with emerald earrings the size of rocks hanging from her ears, and her hands were in frame, and the ring on her, dude, it was a house on her finger, and like a red turtleneck. And she was like, when did we stop being human? This is not okay. This is an innocent man, Brian Simpson, who lost his life. Lady! This one doesn't involve you, Barbara. I don't think this one's for you, my love. Off with you. Dude, I was raised normally, like, well, you know, I got some screws loose too, but I was raised by like a normal mom and dad, probably like a lot of us here. Like my dad, you know, traditional dude, he was like, hey man, you want to go out and make money? You can get it, but you have respect. You don't steal. You don't f people over, right? You're a grown, you got 2 arms, 2 legs. You go make your own. If you want to make a gazillion bucks, go get it, kid. But you don't f people over. You have some honor in this world, right? You do it the right way. This is not a man who got innocent. This is not a regular dude who got innocently. This is the guy who commits murder behind the corporate veil. And if you ask me, I mean, I would honestly go as far as to say this is pretty tame. Because let's entertain the hypothetical here that this is a very real chance that this was like a victim of this guy's healthcare shit, insurance shit, and he had a daughter with leukemia who they denied his claim and the daughter died. Like, dude, I said about my dad, like my dad is like an old, like the ultimate, like, don't with my family type guy, or we're both going down together type. Like, he's old school, blue collar, Alberta dude. We're Canadian, so we have healthcare, thank God. But dude, if you took away one of his kids because he was paying you for healthcare, and then you were like, what's your son's name? Connor? Oh, we only cover children with 7-letter names, not 6. Dude, let's just say he's not showing up subsonic rounds and a mask on, dude. He's showing up with a bazooka with a switch on it, Charleston White style. Hell yeah, I got switches. And dude, I know I'm talking extremes. Like, I'm talking, like, I get as a blanket statement, it's not okay to kill people, and you can't just go killing people. Obviously, I know that, because then the floodgates open. It's too much. I get it, right? But I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to judge what this guy was going through as if I would be on some moral high ground if I was in the same place. And everyone's like, no, it doesn't matter. You have to let it go through the courts. I pray your composure doesn't get tested like that then. And if you're some person who still doesn't understand why the masses would be rejoicing in this act, then I'm actually jealous of you, because that means you're probably some rich, detached person who doesn't know what it's like. And in which case, off with you. Love you. See you later.
So with the woman, y'all see that he tried to make her recant. Oh, so you're saying you feel joy and condescending. How could you not feel nothing for this man? Americans, what have it? He's so angry about it. And then, being the moral police, said he dealt with the healthcare system. Piers Morgan been rich for a very long time. A very long time. They don't understand y'all's struggle. These people speaking against it don't understand the struggle. And even when I thought I was doing decent, I was doing well enough to not feel this much impacted by the healthcare scare that I had, my sister had. Then my dad went and had strokes. It was crazy. But I felt it. So I can't even imagine someone who's making minimum wage. I can't even fathom. My grandmother used to pick up watermelons. That was her job. And then she worked at a factory. These were blue-collar people when we came from Haiti. They got all their grandchildren, all of us here, by working these type of jobs, demeaning jobs. My father, my uncles, they all were dishwashers when they came from Haiti. dishwashers before they were able to go out. And my grandparents, from all the stress of work and all that, there was not good enough health care that was there for them. And you have people like Piers Morgan lecturing you. They don't understand. And then Ben Shapiro. I'm glad people's coming for Piers Morgan in the comments. Ben Shapiro also, Chris Cuomo. I'm glad people are not, like, please, y'all making this a left or right issue. We don't care. Everyone globally, no matter where they are willing to, like, put money on Luigi Mangione's books. Not because of how I guarantee it has nothing to do with how he looks. It really doesn't. People are tired. They don't even care for celebrities anymore. People are tired. They are broke. They cannot eat. Things are expensive. We're tired of politics. We're tired of the elite. People are tired. It's real out here. And if you're fortunate to make money in your family or in your community, you know how bad it is out there. There's a lot of people you're supporting. There's a lot of people you're taking care of that's on your back. So you know the struggle. But half these people, their families are just as rich. They come from silver spoons. And to have someone like Luigi Mangione, whose family, ironically, is richer than the CEO, feel that there's a problem, it does also show me, conspiracy aside, because some people are saying MK Ultra, this, there is a thing, they're distracting, blah, blah, blah. No. There's youth. I'll tell you guys this. Y'all know I came from deep, intense poverty, the hood. But in being in college, even now, the people that I'm connected to is a lot different than when I was growing up. So I'm around wealth a little bit more. And I see how their children or even the college age people in wealth, 23, 25, up to then, how they think. Even though they come from a silver spoon, they've never experienced any kind of poverty. Because of social media, it's as if they're living through the people that are. There are some genuinely good-hearted rich kids out there. Not all of them are spoiled brats. Not all of them are selfish, lovers of themselves. There are some that fight for the cause. Like, they'll go do missionary work overseas. Like some white kids that'll go do missionary work in Haiti. And they don't have to. They're always donating or marching or putting things together because they see. And they're not okay with being part of a system that oppresses the poor. There are genuinely good rich people out there too, okay? Don't just think all of them are just so. There are people that have money and that distribute their wealth. The ones who are afraid and who's trying to make you sympathize with the CEO, let me not reword, are the ones that won't redistribute their wealth. Because you have someone like Luigi Mangione, if we believe the story for just what it is, flat out, with no conspiracy, MK Ultra, all that, right? Because I know I'm going to go down that conspiracy rabbit hole. He's rich, too. And a lot of rich people are siding with him, too. There's a lot of wealthy kids, trust fund babies, that are siding with him. That are feeling like, yeah, the system is trash, da-da-da. They understand. They go to school with average kids. They befriend. Like, with social media, it's hard. If you are blind, it's because you chose to be. If you are desensitized, it's because you chose to be. If you are ignoring what's really happening out there, it's by choice. It's by choice. There's too much information, too much knowledge, too many people talking. And I tell you guys, I worked in a financial office, did financial advising, did credit repair, did bookkeeping and accounting. That's all the firm did. And I'm telling you, the wealthiest people we know, the multimillionaires, would often have $100 only in their account at the end of the year. And you'll have your average middle-class person have way more in their savings than the person's net worth that's 10 million, 20 million, 100 million. And you ask, how can that be? But people don't understand how net worth works. I can buy a $4 million house. That's included in my net worth, the cars, all of those. That don't mean I have that in my account. my jewelry, my purses. I can include all of those things in my net worth. And a lot of these rich kids, rich people, they don't have money like that, they're struggling too. And the system with America, I've known a lot of people that could not qualify for food stamps, that could not qualify for WIC or assistance from the government because they made too much and they needed it the most. While the people that were qualifying are just abusing the system. I know middle-class people that could not qualify for certain services the government is providing and they needed it. There are people that are making 6 figures, like $400,000 to $300,000 a year, and still can't eat. They would love to get food stamps, but that's not how America monitors the system. They would love food stamps. They can't qualify. They would love WIC. A lot of times, especially in the immigrant community, whatever we make goes towards our families. Like, money is not just for you. That's like, you get shunned or excommunicated for that. If I make $1 million, you best believe about 300 to 400 of that is going towards family. You help everyone else up. You paying tithes and offerings. You paying taxes. In the state of Florida, that's 60%. Not 60%, I'm sorry, 40%. I know that's extreme. 40% of whatever you earn in the state of Florida, which is why I know I have the Boston. I was in Boston, love Boston. But I'm a Floridian here. In Florida, it's 40% of what you make goes to taxes. So if I make $1 million, if you make $1 million, almost 400,000 of that has to be taken out for taxes. And then you can get exemptions and claim some things to reduce it if you have a good accountant, But yeah, you pay a lot of those taxes. So people think, oh, $1 million. No, if you make $100,000, yeah, you're giving about 40. It's technically you made 60,000 for the year in the state of Florida. You better have some children you can claim, some business expenses, like a lot of stuff that you can claim. But even then, you have to prove it. Taxes will kick your butt and you can't even get free health care. Can you imagine paying 40% of your money for taxes and can't even get free health care, free college? And then some people have federal tax and then you have state tax. Florida, fortunately, we do not have state tax. But people like in Connecticut, etc., because at the financial firm I worked at, we did bookkeeping and taxes for people in different states. And these state taxes be ridiculous. You're paying taxes twice and can't get free health care. There was this Floridian woman that got arrested for threatening her healthcare insurance, denied, deposed, whatever. And people was in there, yes, let's start a movement. She got arrested and, bless her soul. But I understand. In Florida, healthcare is ridiculous. It's expensive. It's really expensive. It's better to just drive out somewhere else sometimes to get it, especially with all these New Yorkers coming down here. People from up north has made the cost of living just rise to unbearable proportions. We don't need no more people coming here. Please. I sound terrible. But no, please stay out of Florida. Traffic is getting worse. No. But it's really bad. And I think my message is in this video, don't let the media gaslight you. Don't let the media gaslight you. Don't. You can see who's for you and who's not, how they're talking. I'm not saying we shouldn't have empathy for the man who passed. Does anyone deserve to be murdered? Well, biblically speaking, the Lord would have whole nations taken out of here for their crimes. I don't know. Because sometimes these people feel like they're not doing anything wrong. They're just behind a desk denying people, but they're not at every funeral of the people paying that got denied. They're not taking on the debts of the people left behind, the children, the husband has to recover senseless deaths. He was a murderer first. All of them. All of them. What would be the difference? Imagine if you put a pew-pew in the hands of that CEO and the countless other healthcare CEOs and made them every person they denied. Wouldn't we call them a serial killer sociopath? This is mass murder. Wouldn't we call it that? But that's what they do when they deny people. That's what they do. And they deny genuine cases all the time. AI. You left the lives of people in the hands of AI. I'm gonna leave it at that because this was pretty intense for me. It's been sad, but I love to see everybody awake. Does that make me less of a Christian? Hey, listen, biblically, God don't play that. Y'all keep thinking God is just, no, God don't play that. He is a sword that pierces to the bone, okay? The Lord giveth and he taketh away. God don't play that. Think of Sodom and Gomorrah. God do not play that. So don't be using the whole Christian card to be like, oh, you guys are wrong for this. This man technically committed mass murder too. And I don't think Luigi Mangione had any hate in his heart. And killing him, it was more of a statement. That's crazy to say. But literally, it was a statement. It wasn't, oh, I have personal beef with this person. And I think it woke up the eyes of a lot of people. And people are tired. I still have a lot of medical, I just ignore from time to time, unless you trying to buy a new car or something, you need your credit for something. Even the whole credit system in America. I haven't been anywhere else. And I've traveled a lot. I haven't been to any country where they have a credit system. I think it's just an American thing. So I know I mentioned credit in Paris and they don't even tip. Like, tipping culture is literally an American thing. People in Paris or Italy, they don't know. Even Mexico, Mexicans don't deal with tipping, the culture of credit system. That credit system is oppressive in its own. You deny people for debts. You put them in the whole concept of student loans. The whole system is designed to keep you oppressed and always in debt. What would happen if all of us just decided we're not going to pay our loans, our student loans? What would happen? What would happen? We can't say that with the medical bills because there's a lot of doctors that genuinely want to help people. That's how they get paid, unfortunately. It's not even them, it's insurance. It's systems. They're just the doctors. It's the head. It's the pharmaceuticals that make insulin so high and certain medications so high. This is why a lot of doctors' offices do out-of-pocket. It's cheaper. Even for dental, it's cheaper for me to pay out-of-pocket than to use my insurance. I just pay out-of-pocket. It's cheaper for me to pay out-of-pocket for my medical bills than to have insurance. Because if I'm paying $300-something a month, $400 a month for my insurance, and then I go to the doctor and you just take $150 out of what I'm supposed to pay out of $2,000, okay, let me just save that $300-something every month for when I have a medical emergency. It's easier for me to just pay the $2,000 out of pocket. Hospitals have payment plans and all of those things. Figure yourself out. It's a lot. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Tell me your stories. Where are you from? How is healthcare there in your state? I know for the state of Florida, trash. But the doctors in Florida are really good about, most practices have options for you to make payment plans. They have options for you to pay out of pocket. So that's good. We have a lot of doctors' offices that work with you, but it's expensive. pharmacies here, it's expensive. What is it like for you? And you know what? I think it's so expensive in Florida because we have a large population of the elderly. People come to retire here. We have a lot of retirement homes or communities for the elderly where they have their own apartments and stuff like that, assisted living facilities. So healthcare is more expensive in Florida, and also medical, anything pharmaceutical, they know that's why it's so heavy. So a lot of these retirement states are going to be more expensive, or these heavily populated states. The more, countryside are not as bad. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next one.